gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yes, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting and brand new episode of Plumbing 101. Ne zina langa de Rendani Chibura, aka Randy, your number one MC. I'm super excited about today's episode. Today is everything entrepreneurship while aligning it to the plumbing industry. We'll be speaking to a phenomenal guest all the way from the Northwest province who'll be giving us some secrets as to how she became a success story and why she's part of the plumbing industry. We'll also be announcing our first ever winner of our plumbing industry leaderboard. So there's a lot to get into, but before we get into the nitty-gritty, we're gonna take a quick ad break and we'll be right back.
An exciting new recognition program for plumbing industry champions will soon be launched. As an essential service to society, there must be constant growth and development within this important and ever-changing industry. Developed by the PIRB, the Master Plumber Recognition Program will soon launch as a new PIRB designation, allowing industry champions to take the lead. Contact us or follow our social media, YouTube channel and podcast feed for more.
Welcome back once again. Just before we went on an ad break, I did tell you we've got an amazing and phenomenal guest joining us virtually. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to be introducing her. Her resume is indescribable. I mean, come on. She hails all the way from the Platinum Province, the Northwest. And man, I have to read out her resume before I even say her name. So I'm going to start off like this. She's the director of Matlafatso Investment Pty Ltd. Now, she's also a member of the IOPSA Transformation Committee. And here's a good thing. Now, she's a franchisee of The Drain Surgeon. Now, she worked as a digital marketing specialist for one of the big agencies in South Africa. I mean, come on, guys, can it get better than that? And definitely it can. Listen to this. She just completed her BCom marketing degree. I mean, what else can we add on to this? All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the cherry on top. Now, she's an award recipient from the Royal Bafokeng Enterprise Development for the most promising young entrepreneur. Isn't that phenomenal? I mean, I'm inspired. Talk about an indescribable resume. Without wasting any time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Koketso Bogopane. Welcome to Plumbing 101, Koketso. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me, Rendani. I'm excited to be here and I can't wait to indulge in this interview.
No, it's actually a pleasure to have someone like you. You know, you're so diverse. You are equipped with so much intellectual property. So I know that there's going to be a lot of wealth in our conversation. But jumping straight into it, Koketso, you are a successful young entrepreneur. Now, what led you to becoming an entrepreneur? Why did you choose that specific field?
Rendani, I've always been into entrepreneurship. It's just that I was doing it part-time while working as a digital marketing specialist. So I've always loved entrepreneur. And besides the passion that I have to solve the societal problems, I find it very fulfilling. And I love the freedom that comes with it. It's fulfilling. And when you're an entrepreneur, it comes with growth because you can't just focus on that aspect of making money, of profits. You have to develop yourself. You have to make sure that your mental health, it's okay, it's 100%. So there's a lot of things, like you have to look at it holistically. Your mental health, the kind of friends that you choose, and the kind of people that you associate with, the networks, and personal growth. You always constantly have to keep on developing yourself as an individual. So that's what I love about entrepreneurship.
So it's holistic development, as you said, all right? Now, I don't wanna romanticize the conversation. I wanna make it really into the detail. I wanna go in. Koketso, I mean, when we speak of successful entrepreneurs, we speak of qualities that are required. Now, for some people, you know, discipline is a very difficult one. As soon as that SMS comes in and you see the zeros, I mean, we get excited. You know, it's very difficult to invest and grow. But speaking of that, what are some of the qualities that are required when you want to become a successful entrepreneur? And I'm sure you're living it, but you must have certain of those qualities within you yourself.
That's the most important thing. Discipline is the most important thing. You also have to have the grit, because it's not going to be all rosy. It's not always glitz and glamour. So there are times where you're going to fail. I failed so many times ever since venturing into businesses. I failed so many times. So you have to have the courage to get up. Every time when you fail, the courage to get up and, knock on those doors, kick those doors. And also consistency, because sometimes there won't be results at all. Sometimes the results will be there, but there will be bad results. So you have to keep on going and be consistent and be consistent. And the other thing, obviously, the most important thing is the passion. You have to have passion, because sometimes you won't be motivated to get up and go for what you want. But if you're passionate about it, it will feel like you're not even working. It's something that you love, that you enjoy doing.
Come on, passion. Now that's actually amazing, because you're right. When you speak about passion and you're doing something that you love, it becomes effortless as well. It becomes smooth, because this has actually now become natural to you. And it links me to my next question, speaking about experience and the journey, because it's not an easy one. The word entrepreneurship sounds very nice, because core entrepreneurship, but the detail and the semantics around it are quite dynamic. There's ups and downs that you've mentioned. It's a whole lot of experience that you go through. Speaking of that, is there anything that you would have done differently, that now from the start? Would you have taken a different approach based on your experience, or would you have kept things the exact same way?
I think I would have learned to separate my business account from the personal one, because that's very important. Once you run a business, you need to understand that money that's coming in, that zeros that you were talking about, they are not your for personal use, it's for the business. So it's important to reinvest in the business once you start getting the profits. So I think that change a bit, but otherwise I'm happy about all the other experience, all the failures, because now I'm a better entrepreneur because of those failures.
Come on, I love that. Now that's a tip for people that are actually coming into the entrepreneurship field. Separating your business account, that's a critical one. If I have to speak on my own personal experience, I think that's where, I might have drowned a bit in the beginning of my journey, because, if you don't separate your business account and your personal account, it becomes one. That's when that SMS comes in and you get excited. There's something that happens and you're like, it might not be a bad idea just to, do this. And I love the fact that you raised that. And to people that are watching right now, I'd like to encourage that. I actually didn't think of that. Thank you for bringing that up, Koketso. Separate your entity with your personal identity. These are two different entities. You are your own, and your business is its own organization. If you do that, it's easier to measure growth. But once it's combined, it becomes a bit Afrikaans, and I said it's diermekaar, it's a fruit salad. It's too mixed up. But jumping into the next question, Koketso, and I must say a big shout out to you. You're quite informative. I'm actually learning. I'm not even seeing this as an interview. This sounds like a schooling. It's almost like you're my tutor. Plus, you just finished your BCom marketing degree. But, when you speak about plumbing, because you've now recently decided to go into the plumbing industry. Why plumbing? Because your resume is so diverse. Firstly, why plumbing? Out of all the industries, you were in marketing. You already, you're doing certain things. You're an award-winning entrepreneur. Why plumbing out of everything?
Okay, first of all, I saw the niche in the market. A lot of plumbing companies in Rustenburg in Northwest, but they are not complying. They are not affiliated with like your IOPSA, your PIRB, and also they don't have the trade, the plumbing trade. So I saw the niche in the market and I was like, okay, this is an opportunity. As an entrepreneur, you don't have to have passion for plumbing. Like you don't have to know the actual, technicalities of the plumbing. You just see a societal problem to solve. Then that's where you decide to venture into that kind of business. Okay, so I saw the need in the society for a plumbing business, then I decided to go for it. And when I started, I had no background in plumbing. I had zero background in plumbing. That's why I decided then to partner technically with the drain surgeon by the franchise so that I can learn. They've been in the industry for some time now, so I can learn from them and, yeah.
So Koketso, before we get into some of the key discoveries that you've identified about the plumbing industry, I think we're going to take a little breather. We're going to take a quick ad break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Plumbing 101. Just in case you've missed it, we are joined by Koketso Bogopane, all the way from the Northwest Province, doing amazing things in entrepreneurship as well as the plumbing industry. Before we went for the ad break, I did mention that I want to know some of the discoveries you've identified within the plumbing industry. I'm sure there are different dynamics, Koketso, and please do not romanticize it. Mention some of the positives as well as the negatives. So what are the discoveries within the plumbing industry that you've noticed?
First of all, there's no women representation in the plumbing industry. It's rare to find a woman with a plumbing trade or who's into the plumbing industry. That's why I then decided to be part of the transformation committee for IOPSA, Institute of Plumbing South Africa, so that we can change that and ensure that women are represented, women are have access to the market, the plumbing market, and they're also encouraged to venture into plumbing. So yeah, we want to transform this industry.
I love that. That's a great response, and it's quite true. I think the stats show that it's round about less than 3% of participation of women in South Africa. Now, I did say this on one of my other engagements, it's quite an embarrassing figure, but if we try and become a bit optimistic, we're one of the leaders globally when it comes to participation with women involvement. And people like yourself are doing great because, the plumbing industry and the industry is so broad. It's not just technical, like you said. There's also an administrative opportunity. There are also entrepreneurial opportunities. And you're a living example of this, a success story. And a big shout out to you. But before we wrap this engagement, all right, speaking of women, what are some of the challenges that you faced as a woman, not just in plumbing, but also in business and entrepreneurship?
Okay. I used to, when you get a call from client and they hear a woman's voice, they write you off automatically. So I used to experience that a lot in the beginning. So the only way to make sure that you're on top of the game, you have to keep on developing yourself. You must know the language that's spoken in the plumbing industry. You must know your story. So that's why I decided to do a short course on plumbing, and also I'm always on the internet reading about plumbing, because remember when I started in the industry, I didn't know anything. So yeah, plumbers are associated with men. When you think of a plumber, you automatically think of a man. So that's the challenge that I had when I started. People would, ask, are you really a plumber? Are you, they would question your credibility when it comes to it.
And what advice would you have for someone who wants to go the same journey as you, being in the industry and being a successful entrepreneur?
You must be very agile, because the industry is forever evolving. I think the world is always changing. So you must be able to adapt. You must, learn quick. There's nothing you can find from the internet. Everything is just on your fingertips. So you must always, always, always develop yourself. Read that book, listen to that podcast, and you'll be good.
This conversation is flowing so well, Koketso. My producer is going to strangle me, but I have to get this one out of you. Tips, all right? Tips on raising funds, handling money, because that's critical. tips to someone who's having that challenge, what would you say? We now know, obviously, separate your business account with your private account, but something else. Give it to us as we wrap it up.
But I want to, it's important, guys, to start small and start with what you have. You don't have to rent an office space to run a business. You can run a business from home, because some expenses really, they're just gonna cripple your business. And the other thing is, when you approach that government for government institution for grant, or it's easier for them to help you if you've already started something. You understand? So if you start small with what you have and you approach that bank or that government institution, they'll see that, okay, this person has a healthy relationship with money, obviously looking at your bank statement, and they can see that you were reinvesting your profits, then they can trust you with their money. So the most important thing is to have like a healthy, good relationship with money, and also start small with what you have before you can even think of approaching the banks for the loans. And saving, it's important. If you're working full time, because I started from my savings, I was working full time and saving towards this, and also I had the other side hustle that funded this business. So saving, it's also important.
Okay, so you are a phenomenal reflection of success, and I have to give it to you. People never get their flowers while they can still smell them. So we're giving you your roses and lilies. You're a true inspiration, and I always say this, women are incubators. You give life, and you're a perfect incubator for the plumbing industry as well as business and entrepreneurship. To people watching back at home, just a reminder, her name is Koketso Bogopane, hailing all the way from the Platinum Province. This is a success story. This is a reflection of greatness. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your time. We do hope we do this again. From the plumbing industry, from Plumbing 101, thank you so much. Have yourself a fantastic day further, and we look forward to more engagements. To our viewers back at home, what an exciting topic and what a discussion, man. I hope you've taken some value out of that, and obviously we'll continue with the discussion after this short break. We'll be right back.
Yes. Lebitso la ka ke Sipho Motshweneng, ke tswa Val Triangle, pleke nye bitswang Iron Site. Ke sebeletsa Makanyane Holdings as an assistant plumber. I've been with the company for 2 years now, because I'm working part-time with the company, but what I wish to know is to grow and to learn more about plumbing, and to PIRB to help me to understand and to new ways of plumbing. Yes.
Welcome to Plumbing 101 News. In an announcement made on the 25th of March, the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, appointed an interim board for Amatola Water. This follows the water shortages faced by the residents of Buffalo City Municipality. The water instability led to a strike by the affiliate of the South African Municipal Workers Union. The strike has demanded for an appointment of a new board and solutions to the lack of access to water. As a solution to their grievances, Minister Mchunu has appointed a 7-member board whose tenure will be for the next 5 months. The board is expected to bring the stability concerning the finances and governance in the areas. To work in collaboration with the board, the department urges the public to report water leaks and infrastructure vandalism to their local municipality, or by calling 0800 200 200. Preserve water, preserve life. Before we go, we'd like to celebrate the people that preserve our water by announcing the leaderboard winner. The leaderboard is for plumbers and consumers to monitor plumbing performance nationally and regionally. It is a ranking system based on how well a plumber develops themselves in respect to their continuous professional development. We have completed our first quarter of the year, and we have a winner. Let's have a look. Congratulations, Prince Laga, with registration number 5822/16. Congratulations, Proud Plumber. My name is Naomi Bango. Thanks for watching.
Being part of an industry professional body is a personal decision.
To those who take pride in their trade, it stretches far beyond having a status of being licensed to issue certificates of compliance.
To them, the consumer matters.
As part of the plumbing industry, you help to bring the most valuable commodity to civilization. Water is life.
Be sure to continue to reap the benefits of being a proudly PIRB registered plumber by continually renewing your registration. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Plumbing 101. As we're wrapping up this amazing episode, I still need to give a big shout out to Koketso. Such an informative discussion, brought so much value. I didn't even feel like it was an interview. It felt like a simple discussion. In fact, I felt like I was being tutored. So to young women, remember, you can do it. This industry is here for you. There's a big gap and a big opportunity. Taking nothing away from everyone else. Put your mind to it, you will achieve it. And I have to mention this, a big, big congratulations to our first ever leaderboard winner. And if you also want to be part of that, make sure your CPD points are up to date. Now we've reached that sad part where we have to say goodbye, but I'd like to encourage you to make sure you touch base with us on all our digital platforms. On our website, www.pirb.co.za, and on our socials, on Facebook, it's PIRB. On Instagram, that's the gram, at plumbing_industry, and on Twitter, it is at plumbingboard. Until we do this again, we'll see you next time. I go by the name of Rendani Chivura, aka Randy, #1 MC. Yes, man.